The Ponyville Prankmaster by Axolotl 222.
Come on.
Rainbow Dash thought to herself as she peered over the edge of the cloud.
She should be here by now.
Rainbow flipped herself over onto her back. Where was she? Rainbow got the timing right, hadn't she?
This is so boring,
she thought to herself as she felt her head hit the cloud.
She even gonna show up?
Her hind legs twitched in the air, as if she was trying to buck some pony. Frustration mounted within her. As much as she hated the thought, she realized she might have to admit defeat here. Rainbow let out an annoyed groan. Every year, ever since Twilight had arrived in Ponyville, Rainbow and Pinkie had a little game they liked to play. Just a fun little tradition for the two of them. Every year, they would set aside 1 week and see how many ponies they could prank in that time. Whoever got the most would declare herself to be that year's Ponyville Prankmaster, while the loser had to buy her some cider. The Pegasus grimaced at the thought. Every year, the outcome was the exact same. No matter how hard she tried, Rainbow could never beat the pink pony. Year after year, she would begrudgingly say the "You're the Prankmaster, Pinkie" line, fork over some bits, and then watch the party planner drink a cold, delicious mug of cider with envy. But this year was going to be different. Rainbow had vowed that she would not be bested this year. She had spent every waking hour of the past 6 days trying out every conceivable pranking idea she had. Rainbow grimaced as she remembered the look on Pinkie's face when they checked the scoreboard a few hours ago and realized they were actually tied. Rainbow was so close. She just needed one more prank before midnight, and then she could taste the sweet cider of victory. If Fluttershy would show up, that is. Rainbow pouted. If there was one thing she hated more than losing, it was waiting. Rainbow's ear twitched. She froze, listening.
Hoofsteps.
She quickly flipped over and scanned the ground.
She's here!
Rainbow smiled. Below her, stepping out of the threshold of the Everfree Forest, was Fluttershy. Rainbow made a silent hoof pump. Fluttershy had told her that she had been going into the forest the last few days, helping Zecora with something that Rainbow couldn't remember. She felt around with her hoof, and Rainbow quickly found what she was looking for. A cheap Nightmare Night mask that she had found in her closet. As she began to pull it down over her face, however, she hesitated. Usually, Rainbow and Pinkie would make an exception for Fluttershy when pranking. The poor mare was afraid of, well, everything, if Rainbow was being honest. Messing with her just seemed too easy, and even a little cruel. Rainbow Dash shook her head. Desperate times called for desperate measures, she reminded herself. Besides, they came up with that rule years ago. Surely Fluttershy had gotten a lot better since then. Rainbow had seen it. There really wasn't a good excuse to give up now, with victory so close. She pulled the mask down and then dove to the ground. In front of her, Fluttershy froze, letting out a small gasp. Rainbow quickly dove behind a nearby tree.
Hello?
Fluttershy stammered, her eyes darting around frantically. Rainbow held her breath.
Is some pony there?
No pony answered. Slowly, Fluttershy turned around and resumed her walk. Rainbow stepped out from behind the tree and took flight. Fluttershy's ears shot straight up at the noise. Her wings flared, an already feeble attempt to make herself look bigger that was ruined further by her shaking knees. her eyes screwed shut, as if refusing to look at her impending doom. Cautiously, she turned around and opened her eyes. There was nothing but darkness behind her. Fluttershy let out a sigh of relief and turned around, coming face to face with a masked pony.
Boo!
Rainbow said. Fluttershy screamed. She reared onto her back legs before toppling over, landing on her back with her wings splayed and her legs akimbo. Meanwhile, Rainbow tilted her head back and unleashed a volume of triumphant laughter.
I did it! I won!
Rainbow hollered. She leapt into the air, flying around in a little victory dance.
Oh my gosh! I'm going to have all the cider!
Her celebration came to an abrupt end, however, once she heard the sobbing. Fluttershy was crying, her face buried into her hooves as her shoulders shook. Rainbow felt her stomach drop.
Oh, jeez,
she thought.
What have I done? Fluttershy?
Rainbow landed beside her friend and took her mask off.
Hey, Flutters? I'm sorry, Go away!
Fluttershy shrieked. She curled into a ball, crying even harder. The Rainbow sat beside her, gently placing her hoof on her withers.
Flutters?
Rainbow repeated.
I'm sorry, okay? Come on, talk to me, please.
Fluttershy slowly lifted her head to look at her.
Why?
She asked, her cheeks shimmering in the moonlight.
Why would you do that to me?
It was Rainbow's turn to stammer.
Well, you...
Rainbow sighed, realizing it would be for the best if she were just honest.
I was trying to prank you. A prank?
Fluttershy hissed. She stood up, coming face to face with Rainbow Dash.
You think that was funny?
Rainbow said, taking a step back as she shrunk away from Fluttershy.
You think it's funny to wander around in the woods with a spooky mask, scaring innocent ponies? What? No, it's just I was actually about to beat Pinkie this year and... Oh, now I get it!
Fluttershy mocked.
You care more about some stupid game than one of your oldest friends. What? No, So you decide to mess with her, even though she's all alone and weak and completely helpless.
Fluttershy said the last couple of words with a breathy sigh. Rainbow blinked. She noticed something in her friend's demeanor now seemed a little different.
You okay there, Flutters?
Fluttershy responded with a deep, throaty moan.
No,
she whispered, her eyes half open and her face flushed.
I'm not okay.
She began to creep forwards as she spoke.
I'm out here by the forest at night,
she continued.
Weak and alone and vulnerable.
Suddenly, Fluttershy was a little too close for Rainbow Dash's liking. She tried to take a step back, but slipped and landed on her side with a squawk. She then looked up to see that Fluttershy was now looming over her, with a look she would have never imagined her friend having.
I sure hope no pony finds me like this. I'm so weak I don't think I could even try to fight back if she tried to make me do stuff.
Rainbow's eyes had widened to saucers upon realizing Fluttershy had specified she.
Stuff?
She stammered. Fluttershy leaned down.
Bad stuff.
She whispered into Rainbow's ear.
The kind of stuff that only naughty fillies do.
She then shifted position, so her muzzle was now nearly touching Rainbow's.
You want to know the worst part?
Rainbow tried to respond with words, but all that came out was a high-pitched squeal.
I would have to do it. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how much I beg or cry or scream, I'd have to do whatever she says.
Rainbow's jaw hung wide open, her face redder than a tomato.
Bruh, you... Huh?
Above her, Fluttershy giggled, batting her eyelashes. Finally, Rainbow's stupor was broken.
No!
She cried. She pushed Fluttershy away from her and awkwardly scrambled onto her hooves.
Dang it, Fluttershy, what's gotten into you?
Fluttershy did not answer. She just continued snickering. Rainbow then realized she was looking at something behind her. Confused, she turned around.
Boo!
The masked pony said. Rainbow screamed before flying away at top speed, leaving a multicolored streak across the night sky as the two ponies burst out laughing. Eventually, Pinkie pulled her mask off. She whipped at her eyes and sighed.
Sorry, Dashy,
She sang in her effervescent voice.
but it looks like I win again.
Somewhere off in the distance, a cannon fired, followed by a shower of confetti raining down.
But of course, I couldn't have done it without my lovely pranking assistant.
She said, gesturing towards Fluttershy. Suddenly, the mare was engulfed in a pillar of green flames, which then parted to reveal a smiling changeling.
Let's give it up for Thorax.
Another burst of confetti rained down over the two.
Oh, geez, Pinkie, you don't need to thank me.
Thorax said.
You silly Willy. Of course I need to thank you. If it wasn't for you, Ponyville might have lost its prank master.
Pinkie then gasped.
Oh my gosh! We should team up together every year! We'd be unstoppable!
Whoa there.
Thorax said with a laugh. He put a hoof on the mare's withers.
Let's go get Fluttershy first. I think the pet store would like to close soon.
Pinkie smiled.
Okie dokie Loki! To the pet store we go!
She said before galloping out of sight. Thorax chuckled, shaking his head. Suddenly, the mare returned, skidding to a halt in front of him.
You know,
Pinkie said with a coy smile.
you made a pretty good mare back there.
Oh,
Thorax blushed.
years of practice, I guess.
He added, rubbing the back of his neck. Pinkie said, her smile deepening.
You know, the night is still young.
She wiggled her eyebrows, then leaned forward until their muzzles were nearly touching.
Maybe, after we get Fluttershy, we could head over to my place and...
Pinkie whispered something into Thorax's ear. The changeling could only sputter in response, somehow turning an even deeper shade of red. Pinkie gave him a wink before walking away with a notable sway in her hips.
You coming, Loveback?
She called over her shoulder. Without hesitation, Thorax trotted after her.